The smacking of news and weather report will start now.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Smacking Off News and Weather Report. What are you thinking about our day?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
But it's going to be a good night.
It is.
and I now know for a fact that Bruce really likes this segment.
I
Already?
somewhat
How'd you find out?
do. I,
He's always
it's
here.
a different spice of life.
There you go. I ain't hating. I like it that Bruce likes this segment. And then, has any other guests joined us yet, Doug?
I think everybody's
Hello.
here.
Everybody is here. What about Jason? Did he join us?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't see him. Yeah, no, there he is.
All right. So we've got a
Can y'all
special
hear
guest.
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There's Nikki.
We can hear you, but you're breaking up. Jason, can we hear you?
Well, maybe we
I
can't
can hear Jason.
But so, all right, we got the full cast. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's technically gifted, so we're just waiting for him to show up. But that's all right. We got plenty to talk about as this, Dougie. This is a quick changing world we live in, where the circumstances of what's happening and the war in Iraq even can change at any minute. And there's so many doomsayers and naysayers about what's going on, and but really, I mean, if they can keep up with it better than I can, then they're pretty smart. But it looks like right now, Doug, that your theory of world oil domination and the long game for the U.S. is what's going on.
That's definitely what's being attempted.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think that's what we're
Totally
seeing.
agree. Well, actually, controlling petrol, that's the main thing, and easing China out.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, but we can sell oil to them, too. They're just not going to get the discount that Venezuela gave them. So we don't mind to sell them some oil. They want to go to the Gulf of America and load their tanker up with either us or our allies. Well, we would love to sell them oil at the same rate that the rest of the world pays for it. And
Real quick, Jason, if you go out and come back in, we may be able to hear you. That's happened before, where where a person couldn't get their sound working until they left and would come back in. Anyway,
there you go. Yes, because we're looking forward to hearing from Jason. And I see, Nikki, that you what was that you was posting earlier about the last thing that you put on the chat?
About Erica Kurt.
Yes.
Yeah, she was supposed to headline tonight with JD Vance at the University of Georgia. And
Jason.
because of
All right, we can hear him.
Good.
Got it.
because of death threats, and a few of them actually turned out to be credible threats, she couldn't go on.
It's crazy to me that how many people are scared of that message that they try to kill her. I mean, the violence seems to be the only way. I mean, it's insane. So, Jason, you've joined us
It's a
tonight.
sad society we live in where people thrive on death threats and wishing death among others. Like, we have a massive mental illness problem in the United States right now.
I was
Oh, I
threatened by a
agree.
former politician in Alabama back when I worked in news radio then.
What did they threaten you with?
I'm sorry. Oh, basically what it was is I was booking a fringe candidate that his wife was running for public service commission in Alabama. I don't know if any of my Alabamians that may have been watching around this time, but around 2010, there was this guy named Dale Peterson that went viral because I think he was running for like ag commissioner or something like that. Did the, your stereotypical dumb redneck bullshit where it was like, I'm a former Marine. I was a cop. So listen up, and carrying the gun and riding the horse and all that shit, which got a lot of play. It went viral all over the world. Well, I think it was 2012. His wife was running for the Alabama Public Service Commission against Twinkle Anders Kavanaugh, which I think she's still there now. But to add a little context to it, we got wind that she filed a frivolous ethics complaint within the state of Alabama against Twinkle Anders Kavanaugh during the campaign so that she could use the ad, or she could say in her ad that she was being investigated by the Alabama Ethics Commission. So my job as the producer of the show that I was working on, we booked her and I talked to her husband and they agreed to come on, but they left me a voicemail. And it's like, if y'all try, I can't remember it word for word, but if y'all try any fun stuff, I know where you work. And I said, everybody else does too, motherfucker.
Damn. So they was pretty stirred up, but I guess you're going after the pocketbook because some of these politicians, once they get in there, they never come out. It seems like they're able to use their influence and connections and whatever other means to somehow prosper to a great degree. It kind of reminds me of Ilhan Omar and how she's able to be worth millions of dollars when she was basically penniless, just 10 years ago on a representative salary. Now they say that she's worth tens of millions of dollars, and people's went to her businesses that she's recorded online, and they're just rent a business cubicles that are empty. So Nancy Pelosi too. Nancy Pelosi somehow on a representative's salary is worth over hundreds of millions of dollars. So there's a lot of
trading stock still, which
my
is
mom tried to buy
the law.
wine from Omar's wine company.
Well, go back to Kelly Loeffler during COVID, right before all the shutdowns and everything like that, and she made a good bit of change on the stock market and got a lot of flack for that in the state of Georgia.
Oh yeah, well if you bought stock and somehow bought stock in Procter and Gamble before that, before COVID blew up, you probably made a lot of money. I had a guy tell me once at work that I knew for many years was a mentor of mine as a telecommunications technician, and he come to me and goes, "Look, man," he goes, "I don't know how much money you've got." He goes, "But tomorrow they're going to decide that which automakers are going to get bailed out, and my information says that Ford is not going to take the bailout. So right now their stock's 99 cents a share. If I was you, I'd spend every dime I got and buy every share of Ford stock that I possibly could." And I had
that was true. They didn't take a handout.
They didn't take the bailout. That's why Ford won the Ford Chevy battle forever. In case you ever see anybody running their mouth, Chevrolet, Ford this, Chevrolet that, General Motors had to be bailed out by the American people. At that moment, Ford won. But anyway, so I bought the stock at 99 cents a share, about 10,000 shares of it, and set it on E-Trade to sell at $12 a share. And that was in right before the election at the end of October. And by March, it all sold, and I paid off every debt I had.
So you remembered the password.
Yeah. Definitely
That's
heard
hard,
password.
that's hard to do these days. You can easily forget those.
Oh, Bob said now there was some big
But
money.
you know what's funny now, gentlemen, is that you can now trade everything that Nancy Pelosi trades. You can trade with her. You can
I got a buddy of mine who has that app that follows
absolutely. It's a thing now, and there's a lot of people doing it.
Yes,
Nancy
Which is
Pelosi,
going to kind of
Marjorie
bring the
Taylor
whole
Greene
thing down, though. I mean, when everybody's doing it, it doesn't work as well.
And to kind of piggyback on that, this is why I really, really, really am just skeptical about these like Kalshi and Polymarket prediction markets, because that's just prime for some insider trading. There's no guardrails on those.
It's Wild Wild West, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I could like make a prediction bet on when Bob loses all of his hair. If it's 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever, you can make that bet. It'll be a long time for it if it ever pays off, but you can still make that bet.
Bob,
there's more to it than this. So I went on crypto.com, right? And on the prediction markets, they had, the next president of the United States. And at the time, Cory Booker, according to their market, had a 92% chance to be the next president of the United States.
Goodness.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had like an 88% chance. So anybody with half a brain is going to bet no because neither one of them is going to win. And the payoff is huge. Well, the problem is that the odds rapidly changed and my orders didn't get filled, but my money is tied up until fucking 2028.
You know what? It
Okay.
makes me sad.
Now it's only $12. It's not the end of the world, but that's not the point.
It's the principle of it, right, Ed?
It makes
You were
me
just
sad.
doing-
The reason that Robert Kennedy Jr. won't have a chance to get in, it makes me sad what the reason actually is. Well, I mean, he's been drugged through the mud being in the Trump administration, but it's probably the way he talks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Could be.
truthfully.
Dude, he sounds like the fucking NOAA weather radio.
It's not going to be what the
It's
people
not
are gonna-
appealing.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. It's not appealing. And it's tough to follow him at times.
It's like a grown-up Spanky.
It's like tornado warning for Sumner County. Like
But
the old,
I
like,
want to digress a little bit. I find
like
it
Doctor,
really-
the old program of Dr. Sabatso. I mean, you type something in and it.
what I find amazing with Ilhan Omar is that how entrenched that woman is. I find it. I don't know whether she's untouchable. I don't know whether she has some enormous blackmail list on people, but they can't get her out. She's entrenched. She's like a tick. And it's just amazing that she's still in there with all the inside training that she's getting, the fake winery, like Nikki said. And she's just
But the insider trading isn't illegal for them, even though it should be.
falsifying the
right there.
winery that is non-existent is illegal. That
Yeah,
is and
It goes
reported
beyond
on
that
her-
because her name gets brought up in every one of these fraud cases in Minnesota.
Yes,
Her name
all
is
the
tied
time.
to.
And
So,
marrying your brother's not a great look.
no, I mean,
No,
right
it's
there,
not.
she shouldn't even be allowed to be in our country at this point because she did it illegally.
If that's true, what's the political fallout from
That-
deporting her?
That's what I can't understand is how she hasn't been on the plane back to Somalia.
And I do feel Trump putting JD ahead of this fraud situation. I think the main point of him being appointed to that is honestly to go after her. Like to find a way to get her ass out of running for anything.
Well, you think that the DOJ would be, knocking on the door or kind of creeping in if they have anything. Now we have Pam Bondi who is out, but the thing about it is they went after James Comey, they went out after other people, and then eventually it's kind of got thrown away because there was no legs and there was no water. So,
There was plenty of legs.
well,
You had a judge that's a piece of shit that said that the damn lawyer was too young. There was plenty of legs to put those guys away.
then what's happened with the DOJ? Are they going
That
back
wasn't
to it?
because of the DOJ. That was because of the judge that overseen it. At a
Oh,
state
Okay.
level.
case.
But again, can the DOJ go back again and file it? Because
Yeah,
right now
well,
the
that's-
DOJ is in the
Going after.
DOJ is in the administration's power.
I mean, there's a deep state element to that, though. You do know that, Jason. I mean, there's actors that they've been trying to get rid of for years in the Department of Justice that do little things to obstruct anything they can. So it's an eternal fight to get anything done in that agency. But I'm with you. I want to see something done, and I want to go back to the 2016 election, and they showed documents. The director of national intelligence that Obama had his administration, including Hillary Clinton and himself, had ordered the Trump administration to be spied on, and they showed the documents. And I don't see anybody in jail, and that's why Pam Body's got to go. We need to see somebody going back to the 2016 spying on Trump's campaign, the fake Russia collusion. Even though I think that they may prosecute Adam Schiff. There's some talk of that today.
I don't know if we can blame Pam Bondi for this because she's on
can't.
Trump's side.
Yeah, but she did not seek the indictments over those that spied on his campaign, even though she had evidence. So what's behind that?
Wheels of justice grind slowly, gentlemen.
That is true.
That's the truth.
And
that is just something that I think it's innate in most people, and especially with society nowadays. They want a fast remedy. They want this concluded, done. But just like this morning when was Sewell, or that creep from California, okay,
which he's gone, thank God,
automatically convict him and throw him because his due process was undermined. He has a right to go to court. He has a right to do his due process, no matter how long it takes. We may like it; it just doesn't fit our budget of our thinking of nowadays. To over and let's be a human jury. No, let it.
And we discussed this before, Bruce, with the Epstein files. Like everyone wanted something done right away. Like,
and there was
not going to happen. And then you want to put it on Bondi's back. How is she going to go after all these people when everyone wanted her only focusing on the Epstein files? Let's not focus. She went ahead and put them to be indicted for what they did. It was the judges that threw it out.
Right. It wasn't the judges. They sealed those cases. So you couldn't go into them and share that information. That's why Patel had to go back to every court and get permission from them, then to take that documentation and then release it. All that takes time. It just overturned in seconds.
What's that?
I was gonna piggyback just on Bruce for a minute when he talked about the process, the due process when it comes to Eric Swalwell. Is yes, it's going to take time. There's going to be court proceedings. There's going to be investigations, but the thing about it is, California governor's race is coming up here pretty soon.
Oh, he's
nerved. That's why he's done. He's out of Congress, and you know what? I'm happy for that. And also, too, I think Congress just needs an entire overhaul.
It is
a reset, because this has been the most inept, incompetent United States Congress that I've ever seen. They have had more fucking vacation time than me, and I've been unemployed since July, and they've had a whole more vacation time
for 100 years.
When Tip O'Neill was
the
speaker, it was pretty bad. When Tip O'Neill was the speaker, it was pretty bad. But at least you could make deals under the table between the two parties. But I agree.
Jason, if you had the American people paying for you to go on vacation, you'd probably have a lot of vacation time.
That would have been fucking nice, especially right now.
Because that's what Congress.
I'll take it.
Oh, we're going to say Congress right now. These are the same people sitting in Congress for years.
But the last two have been incompetent.
Well, you can see
it's been there for the last some of these people have been in Congress for over 30 years.
Yeah, you're right.
It's nothing new.
Like Maxine Waters. I mean, there's no breaking up those districts in places like California, and the same thing in the Deep South. You couldn't root out Strom Thurmond or assholes like him, or Mitch McConnell, even in my own state. They're almost impossible to root out, right? No matter how sorry they are. I mean, we don't even like them here. I don't know who votes for him, right? But they're scared to death that a Democrat will get that seat. But they're taking a chance now. So he's finally retiring, and somebody's going to run against that motherfucker. But that's the kind of shit you got going on. They're entrenched. They can't be moved out. And because of the jungle primaries in California in particular, that means at the top of the ticket, it might be two Democrats. But that's going to backfire on him, because he mentioned the California's governor race, and the top two candidates, Steve Hilton and Sheriff Bianco, are both Republicans. So with Swalwell out of the race, their only competition is a woman that berated her own staff and her own, but yeah, on live on TV. So it doesn't look good for them there. And we may have some change in California based on that.
I think
We got
Jason's,
Al Green out in Texas. That was a plus.
Jason's showing what's indicative of the Senate and the government's acting of what they're doing. And two laws that are Luna proposed a thing to divulge the information of all the people who had done sexual innuendos, and the government paid for those innuendos. And then the second issue was when they had this shutdown of DHS and they didn't want to pay. But then Kennedy tried passing a bill saying, well, if they're not going to get paid, we're not going to get paid. And what happened out of that? Okay. No, neither one of those bills came to fruition because they covered they're continually are the health initiative thing where if they're going to pass health bills, they have to use the same health issues that we pay for. If they're going to go on, let's say United Healthcare, they have to have that United Healthcare. Okay, and all the time they're doing hypocritical things like this all the time, and it just magnifies just the corruptness of these people and how entrenched they're trying to make themselves. And
it always makes me laugh when somebody says, yeah, I'm going to pass a legislative bill that says we can't get paid during the shutdown. And I laugh because I know exactly what it is. It's pandering. If you were in their shoes and you were in the position where they were, do you think you're going to give that up?
They have before.
For real? No, they haven't.
Yeah,
they still get paid.
It might stimulate something to get something passed and done and appropriated, and that's what's necessary. And I can see what.
But it comes off as pandering to me. It's nothing but pandering because it never gets done.
I think one thing that I noticed, you want to bring up like the last 2 years of Congress. The reason you're noticing this is because these people have such a deep hate for Trump. They're making life a living freaking hell.
Oh yeah, they come out publicly and said they're going to try to get him if they win the midterm. They've got 1 million cases planned for him and his supporters. That's a quote.
Anyone and everyone.
And it's years before when they were, close to a shutdown, they at least could come together and come to an agreement. I'm sorry, there's one side right now that hates him so much that no matter what he says, and it is good for our country, they're going against it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean,
to Thomas Massey's credit, though, Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna, that they they put together the Epstein Transparency Act, which by law, 30 days, Pam Bondi had to release all the files. But it hasn't come to fruition yet. We're still looking at here, because I think that most people, and I think all of us, we want the Epstein files to be released. The people who are in there that's shown without a shadow of a doubt of any wrongdoing, we want them prosecuted, the fuck out, and we want to get on with our lives. But we're not. But it's not happening.
But an email's not. It's like due process. We want to talk about due process. You have to have that in the same situation. These are emails.
I agree. I agree. But
so this is going to
not all the files have been released yet. They've just been trickling down, and everything has to be out.
I would, but I don't think Trump's protecting himself. I think if they had Trump, they would have got him a long time ago.
Oh, they would have got him back.
But I do think Trump is protecting somebody. I do think he's protecting somebody.
That I agree with. If anything, if he is not implicated, he's protecting somebody. I agree
not
with that.
The one that called the damn police on him. I mean, this man is not what these lies. It's absolutely ridiculous what I read on a daily basis of what they call this man, and it's absolutely disgusting.
I mean,
You know,
they've had.
lied about him.
The Biden administration had full access to this.
Yeah,
They tried to take Trump down with everything they could throw at him, and this was
And
not
so did
thrown at him.
Obama. So did everyone's had this.
And this was not thrown at him.
This is Epstein is not new news. It's old news.
It is
That's-
old news, but I think that there are there are guilty parties being protected.
There are guilty parties.
100%.
But also too, I think what's backfired on him, going back and campaigning on the release of the Epstein files, because it was big during COVID. It was like the talk of the town during COVID, and then he campaigned on it. He got reelected, and the influencers that have been all about the Epstein files, which they came out with the binders and everything like that, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you go, well, Jeffrey Epstein hanged himself. There's nothing here. And it raises a red flag for some people. And they're like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on?
He never said that. He was still the one going to release them.
But he said that they were
documents were fucking sealed by Democratic judges.
But also he was saying that it was a hoax too.
Congress to even get him to Bondi's desk so she could go through them.
But in his words, he's saying it was all a hoax. It's all a hoax.
I didn't know that.
We have emails.
No, he did say that. I think that he meant that
against him
was a hoax. I think what he meant was that there was a lot of bad shit in there that was hoax.
I feel like he was saying that it was a hoax.
I think he definitely worded it very poorly.
Like I truly,
he's got Alex Jones.
And a lot of people thought he was trying to throw everyone off the trail. And let's look at something else other than Epstein, and those things had been set in motion and couldn't be overturned. And people's minds aren't to the idea nowadays. Well, I'm gonna let sleeping dogs lie. No, it's in the grist. It's going to get ground down.
And I 100% believe it was a hoax against him, and that's what he's saying. They set this up to make me out to something I'm not.
Yeah, that there were several reports made right before the 2020 election, and they're garbage. The police looked into them, come up with nothing. But he should have worded it better. He did say it like the whole thing was a hoax.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that they haven't had any indictments on. Do y'all remember before the 2020 election when the staffer was killed and his laptop was seized and nobody ever got to look at it?
Are you talking about Seth Rich?
Yeah.
Is that Seth Rich?
Yeah. So that laptop never got to be looked at.
The guy that took the information from the DNC and then was murdered on the streets of DC.
Washington. Yes. So that laptop has never gotten to be looked at. That's all part of
shit that gets buried constantly.
And then, that was important too, though, through the whole fake Russia hoax. Mm-hmm. And then you also have they finally they denied the existence of the Hunter Biden laptop, and we still haven't seen anybody prosecuted over any potential quid pro quo over the Ukraine. As if you remember, they tried to impeach Trump over a phone call over that, and yet we got people that may have took forward money here, and nothing's went on with that. So I want to see somebody prosecuted, guys, because I know the Democrats aren't going to have any problems prosecuting anybody. It's time to get on this. We need to do it before the midterms too. We need to get everybody associated with spying on his campaign, the fake Russia hoax. We need to get them prosecuted as soon as possible.
I agree. I think the double standard needs to stop. You want to sit here and say all this stuff about Trump, then let's go back to when Biden's own daughter came out and talked about what he did to her. But that's pushed under the rug.
The shower routine.
Wait, no, she didn't talk about it, did she?
She put it.
I thought somebody grabbed her. Somebody grabbed her diary.
But
it was exposed that he was taking showers, and she to some way made it complicit that he was.
Yes.
in the
But
shower.
we're going to just ignore that. And, that's where I come in with.
There's a lot of pedophiles in the government, and it's not like they don't go by party lines, really.
Listen, I agree with that. If there's something there, get them all, fry all the asses. I'm for that.
So why is it
But
the focus on Trump? That's my question. Why is the focus on Trump? Why is every comment I read, oh, but you care about having a rapist and a pedophile in office, or a rapist and pedophile? I'm sick of it when it's ridiculous.
But again, right now, the administration has the power. They have the power now with the DOJ to go ahead and pursue all of this. So go ahead and do it, and let's get on with our lives. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Hold on.
If everyday people.
If anything
are so stuck on calling and being this way towards Trump, but turn their head when it's anyone else. When they're factual, 100% in front of them, they turn their heads. But I read post after post that it's nothing but he's a, pedophile. When this man is the only president that has passed and signed into executive orders enough to protect child trafficking, what is going to be done to pedophiles, you name it.
But going back to what Bob was saying, right now the administration has the power of the DOJ. You bring up the Russian hoax, you bring up, let's say, the 2020 stolen election, all of that. You now.
Oh, Jason, you don't believe that. You don't believe that election. You do not believe that election was stolen.
Hold on.
What I'm saying with the double standard of regular people, I give two fucks about the DOJ because I know they're not going to do shit. I'm talking about morals and values of our everyday freaking citizens.
Hey, Jude.
But again, I'm saying right now there's the power. Robert brought up the Russian hoax, so let's start getting the evidence, getting the investigations, and let's fry the asses that need to be fried with the 2020 and with the 2020 stolen election thing. We're on year 6 of that now, and it's still being brought up. I really
don't think that.
I agree with you.
There's no way that Trump would be able to pull it off because the judicials.
I agree with you.
It's just not in his favor.
I agree with you, but he's got 2 more years.
Everyday people. I agree with you, but he's got 2 more anymore years. Because they are not going to do shit. I'm talking about morals and values and what comes out of people's mouth on a daily basis because of this man.
I do believe a lot of cheating goes on, and I think there's a lot of Republicans that want to protect it as well.
It's on both sides.
And that's why they can't pass the SAVE Act. The Republicans have the numbers to pass the SAVE Act right now.
Yep, they do. You're right.
Right now. To
they
spin it any other way is just incorrect. We've got the numbers.
They have the numbers to basically move everything like shit
right
through
now, and they can if they can get 50 votes, then Vance comes in. He's the 51st vote.
Oh, they can have the filibuster and just let everybody run their mouth because there's a limit to it. So you're saying you want a filibuster? They can get up there and talk like Mr. Smith went to Congress.
There's no will. There's not enough. There's no will as far as there's not even 50 Republicans that'll do it.
I'm sad about that because they show the true colors, and really we knew this, and that's part of Trump's election was the understanding.
This is an 80%, at least an 80% issue. 80% of the population across the board wants IDs, and they want to prove. They want people to prove they're a citizen before they vote. 80% in the Congress cannot fucking do
it. Aren't they including passports on that too? Because I'll probably need to get mine if that's the case.
Yeah, I think so. I think passport is definitely a acceptable form of ID. I'm not sure that you would have to have a passport, but
you can get the enhanced driver's license from TAS. You have to take your birth certificate and all that information in.
You live in Tennessee, right?
Me, yes, and we have We have what we call the Star ID, which allows me to actually fly on airplanes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's national, I think. See, some states are actually passing their version of the Save America Act, but I'm not sure if Tennessee has done that. I think Florida's on the verge of doing it, or maybe they did it.
Tennessee's too busy right now working on school vouchers to be doing anything like that. It seems like they've been doing it for months.
Oh yeah. School vouchers. You know, I don't really love that.
This whole thing with Epstein and Bondi being fired and stuff. And what's going to happen is that here we now are going to be going through the process of finding a head of a DOJ, and it's going to go past the midterms. So if you're thinking that there's going to be a quick arrest and prosecution, it's not. They're not going to transpire. It's not going to happen.
No, you're right.
It's going to take a while.
And I can't understand. This is the only thing in my thinking with Trump. Why would he pull the trigger on her before the midterms? Why? And it's just I'm not trying to speculate anything or insinuate anything, but it was just really suspicious. If you want people to be prosecuted, you want things to do, and now just before the because then after he's become a lame duck president, nothing's going to get prosecuted. Nothing's going to get.
Now, Bruce, I've read this in circles. I haven't really confirmed it, but wasn't like here coming soon or really soon or within the next week or so, Pam Bondi was scheduled to testify before Congress before she got let go. Okay,
and she still has to.
Yeah, she still has to.
Yeah. Or be held contempt.
Correct. Right? No, she'll have to testify. But the whole problem is now that we're now in this catch-22 of who's Trump going to bring in. I thought my excellent person would be Mike Lee. Other people will say that the other, I'm trying to think of his name.
Janine Pirro.
Janine Pirro's name was thrown in there for DOJ because she's more of a really aggressive person. Ted Cruz was another one, and Mike Lee would be a great DOJ head of DOJ.
I do not like Ted Cruz,
but yeah,
I don't.
But hey,
I love that with no hesitation. You said that.
But I gotta jump in one thing. I just because I'm old. I don't think anybody is going down for anything. I just don't.
Yeah.
That was my whole point. Like, it's not going to happen. At this point, I look at actual humans and the people and
not going to happen at all.
Values and morals instead of worrying about someone being freaking arrested. Not going to happen.
Not even Omar?
People, we need to freaking open our eyes to how sick and demented and how our society in a whole has turned.
We got a lot of work to do because
I think our eyes are all wide open on this.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that the government is not willing as a whole, and no matter what happens, the status quo will find enough votes, even if it's by one, to keep the status quo in place.
Can I say something real quick in regards to this? And it's kind of a bugaboo for me, and I just kind of want to get the thoughts of the room when it comes to this, because the thing that I hear all the time is term limits. We got to have term limits. But, and y'all probably disagree with this, and you know what? That's fine. But this is just kind of how I view it. And as someone who worked in political media for nearly a decade, it's just been kind of my observation. I feel like the whole term limit argument is just lazy. And here's why. Because the state of Kentucky, every 4 years, I'm not sure how, or 6 years, however it works in the state of Kentucky, Bob, that Mitch McConnell could get voted the fuck out if the people were tired of him. Every 6 years. But he keeps getting voted right back in. Let's make a great example. Richard Shelby from my home state in Alabama, who's retired now. Katie Britt is now the senator that's been his successor. Was actually, I think, their chief of staff with Richard Shelby. He was there forever, and every day I heard about how Richard Shelby was a rhino, that he needed to be gone. I'm done with him. He sucks. And even though that he had a very, very expensive war chest, he gets voted back every year, or he's unopposed and he goes back every year. So
that's what I'm saying. The establishment candidates. I mean, there's a lot of cheating that goes on. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I agree.
Look at how are they getting voted back
and it
in?
Ain't just Democrats.
Where's that money going? Whose hand is that money going into? Who's voting for him?
But again, Nikki, I agree with you. I agree with you on that point. I do agree with you on that point.
So I guess the freaking term limits. So if no one voted for him and they found a way in, which has happened numerous times, it's time for him to go sit down.
But it took 150 years.
Governor, president, you name it. We need term limits in House and Congress.
It took 150 years for West Virginia to break the grip of the Democrats, guys. 150 years.
Is there any way that Mitch McConnell is really winning in Kentucky?
I mean, he's not running again anymore.
Okay, but what's the last election he won? What year was it?
I think wasn't that the one that Matt Jones, I think, was trying to run against him, or was that like further?
Oh, yeah, they threatened Matt Jones. That's right. That's good. So McConnell's campaign threatened Matt Jones. I remember that.
Yep.
And
we actually on our sports show, we actually interviewed Matt Jones about that.
And they said that he couldn't be on the radio. They went to court and said he couldn't be on the radio because he couldn't give equal time or some other bullshit. And they basically fucked Matt Jones. But on the other hand, I'm glad Matt Jones didn't win because Matt Jones is a pompous, arrogant ass, right? And he thinks more about Eastern Kentucky than he may ever saw for somebody who don't even.
He was going against Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Matt Jones.
I'd rather try another pompous ass that is least coherent.
Well,
give me Matt Jones or whoever the hell y'all are talking about because I don't even know.
Let me tell you who Matt Jones is. Matt Jones says that people are not capable of celibacy with their teenagers, right? But he's for every kind of alcohol legalization, every kind of drug legalization, every kind of gambling legalization. He constantly pushes us. He only stands for things that some people can see as evil, right? And that when it comes to anything that stands for good, he says it can't be done. That's why Matt Jones can't be a senator.
Actually,
anybody in?
I'm a pro weed guy myself. I'm just going to say that right now.
Oh, I am myself. But the point of it is when it comes to anything that can't be associated with evil, basically in some people's minds. I mean, if it's anything that has to err on the side of good, he always says it can't be done, and that's his perception throughout the state. And I hope he has more success. And he goes on ESPN on Sundays on his show that nobody listens to. But he's not as popular as he thinks he is because he's made some strategic mistakes. So he talks about college basketball. And he goes on and on about Tyler Ulis, the most beloved player in Kentucky history. His perception of the world of Kentucky basketball is like 20 years old. He don't know anything beyond that. If he does, he just dismisses it. If a caller comes in and challenges, he just dismisses him. He couldn't debate anybody. Matt Jones couldn't win a debate in Congress. And you know how I know? Because I've debated him on air, right? And now I'm banned from the show, right?
Well, doesn't this open the gates? Okay, so McConnell's not running. You're going to get new people in there. That's not going to be threatened. Now they might be.
They're just going to plug somebody just like McConnell.
Exactly. And I don't know if Kentucky can politically make those changes
We need
water.
elections where people cannot steal elections, because these people that are stealing elections, they do not care what the general public thinks.
No, and it doesn't matter what side you're on; it's happening.
Do you remember?
That's a real problem, and it doesn't matter what side of the coin you fall on. If both parties, establishment candidates from both parties, can steal elections, they can ignore the will of the people, and that's exactly what's happening.
No, I actually have a little hope for Kentucky. I'm less skeptical of Kentucky compared to my native state of Alabama and my home state of Tennessee right now, because Andy Beshear, as a Democrat, very popular in the state, done pretty good job. He's been elected multiple terms. So I think that there's somebody who could, in Kentucky, that can do good. The question is, are they willing to do it? From the DNC to the RNC, are they willing to put somebody out there that is like that? The Andy Beshears they're not as common as you think. They're not as common, and that's the tough part too, because a lot of people who could be like Andy Beshear, I don't know if they want to put their families and their lives on a spotlight as intense as it is now. That could be steering people away too.
Well, the guy that is running against McConnell, I don't know if anybody remembers when Trump drove the trash truck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's the guy that owned that trash truck, Nate Morris. Right?
And that's who that guy was.
Isn't he a big Kentucky booster?
Yeah, he's a big Kentucky booster. But now, as far as Beshear goes, he barely beat Bevin, who the teachers union campaigned against for 4 years, who the attorney general sued every move he made, whether it was legitimate or not. And he barely beat the most unpopular governor in Kentucky history. And in his second term, all the radical things that he said he wouldn't try to do, he's tried to do. And so as far as winning on his record, I don't think Andy Beshear, he might could win a primary, but the Democrats don't have primaries. They either rig them so the people that get the most votes in the primary, like Bernie Sanders, don't win, or they don't have one at all. So that doesn't matter unless he's anointed by the Democratic Party, since there's no primaries. Since the primaries are rigged or non-existent, there's no way he can be the nominee.
But you're going to.
I'm not saying Andy Beshear is senator.
Coming up in California in their election of how they're choosing their governor this year, where now that Swalwell's out, the two Republicans that are leading, it could become a red state. Same thing.
They could have a great governor, but he'd be a lame duck though.
So we're approaching the end of the hour out. We sometimes go past that, but let's get into this. The biggest story that's really going on right now. We haven't really even touched it, and that's the Iran war and the blockade.
Okay, guys, hang on just a second before we get started. I got to put on my tinfoil hat here.
All right.
All right, we're ready to go.
That's classic. I like that, Jason. I like that. And there's a lot of conjecture.
How long did that tinfoil hat take you to make?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Shit, I'm gonna make one. You give me hope, man.
It's just a plastic baseball helmet that I just.
Yeah, but it's got real tinfoil on it, so it does work. We know that it works.
We like that.
It glistens in the studio lights too.
It does.
I like it.
All right, guys. So, interesting turn of events recently. We had the failed talks. Now we have a blockade. You've got two sets of news factions. You've got people saying that China actually got through the blockade today, and you've got people saying that didn't happen. So let's get into it.
All righty. Now, Jason, I seen in the chat that you said you had some thoughts on this whole conflict. Would you like to share them with us?
I do, but I want to just let the room have it because mine's going to be very, very long-winded, and I want to, be able to get everything out.
Well, it's your time. Let her roll, buddy.
If we want to start it now, okay. So there is, from my observations, and I'll tell you this: I have done my best to stay away from CNN, Fox News, CBS, NBC, ABC, for most part, everything as far as like American news outlets, because I feel like a lot has been kind of held back, or it's kind of dripped out a little bit. So I've kind of stayed away from that. I've been more with Reuters, BBC, and I've even went to Al Jazeera a little bit just to kind of get the perspective of everything that's going on. The way that I look at this war right now is number one, this is one of the things where it's very hard to do, but you got to take taking the emotion out of it. And that's very hard to do. And just from an observation standpoint, usually in a war, there's a good guy and a bad guy. You have the hero, you have the villain. I think that we're in a war right now of pimps. It is an economic pimp turf war. And this is how I see it. You have the business pimp in President Xi that's involved. Well, actually, let me go to Xi later. Let's go to the heart of everything, where all of this conflict has kind of started. And which you could go back to 1800, you can go back to 1917 or 1948 when the state of Israel was recognized as an actual state. But the epicenter of where all this has began and where it's kind of mushroomed is Israel, Palestine. Israel, Palestine, which we know October 7th of 2023, where Hamas came out and they murdered those people at the festival and held hostages for God knows how long, which has kind of kicked off a little bit of what has happened. Now, when we look at Iran, the thing about this is I believe that Trump may have overestimated him, because I think in conversations that he may have had with Benjamin Netanyahu, that they were going to just be like, okay, we're going to do an airstrike here. We're going to take out the Ayatollah. The Iranian people are going to uprise, almost kind of like what happened with Iraq.
Did you mean underestimate?
Yes, I meant underestimate.
Okay.
Yes. Did I say overestimate? My
Yes.
bad.
You did, but I thought you meant underestimate as well.
Okay. You know, my George Bush dyslexia just kicked in, so sorry about that. But I think that he underestimated, because I'm going to use a Harry Potter reference when it comes to Iran. And my wife is a big Harry Potter fan, so this is how I know that reference. In one of the movies, to weaken or kill Voldemort, there were 7 Horcruxes all around the village of Hogwarts or whatever. And even if you destroy one Horcrux, Voldemort is still powerful. With Iran, I think that they have more than 30. The way that everything is set up, because they've changed. Really, if you go even with Ukraine, Russia, powerful military, should have been able to just wipe Ukraine off with just one single blow. But Ukraine has changed the game. Iran is changing the game when it comes to asymmetric war. It's not a matter of overpowering your opponent, because there's no reality that can happen. U.S., Russia, China have some of the strongest militaries in the world. As far as finances and as far as firepower, they have it all. It's very expensive, but they have it all. So Iran is also, if you go back, they have shown that the Iron Dome in Israel was supposed to be impenetrable, but overwhelming force has kind of made it vulnerable. The U.S. tried to do just a simple bombing attack, overthrow the Ayatollah. It's game over. Iran is done. That hasn't happened. Iran, even if they are down to 10, 15%, are still fighting back. And the theory is, and this is one thing that I've read, and this is kind of why I got the tinfoil hat here, is that they're fighting a war of the pocketbook. And then now we have the Strait of Hormuz, which is an inflection point for all global trade that's going on right now. I think that Trump underestimated that. He underestimated that that the regime would still be in power, because the regime hasn't changed. It's just his younger son now who is even more pissed off that his dad.
We haven't actually seen him, but I think it's more about time. I think that they figured they can outlast Trump because he's got the midterms coming up. Yes, and I think it's more of a time thing. But I really
wait him out. That's what it is. Yes,
I don't really think that Trump's plan is to completely defeat them. I think that the plan is to take over the Strait of Hormuz, and I think the U.S. is definitely going to pull it off.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the end,
to give the people,
they'll just bomb Iran every couple weeks and keep them in check, and that's what's going to. And we'll never leave.
Well, and the Saudis are building a pipeline. The Saudis are building a pipeline to connect their oil to finish the pipeline, I should say, to connect their oil to the Red Sea.
Yeah, so it's going to be no factor as far as the straits.
Straits are going to be ineffectual.
Yeah, by the time it's all over, the U.S. may pull out of there because the strait will be obsolete.
It's the blockade that's important at this time, because remember, the 800-pound gorilla is sitting in China. They need that oil. They got 800 million people, like I said before, that need that oil they can't even fight a war because
it started out. It looked like that Israel may have manipulated this. I really think I don't think that's what happened. I think that Israel may feel like they manipulated it, but I think Trump went in for other reasons, and I think we're seeing them now.
China, because he knows that they can't go into the Straits of Taiwan and take Taiwan because they have no oil. All mechanized army need oil, and Trump knows this. That's a
plus, Bruce, we just built 1.5 million advanced drones, and half of them are on ships to Taiwan right now. Right? Yeah. And then part 2 of this is Cuba was getting oil from Venezuela. They're not getting any. They're near collapse. The Chinese, like you said, can't invade. The Russians can't deliver their full output to make up for any difference. It's only 20%, by the way, of what oil there is in the world, right? And Russia could offset that if they did the war in Ukraine. So there's leverage there, right? Correct. So everywhere there's leverage. And so that we can control the world oil market.
Has anybody seen?
Do you guys remember the show when we first started talking? And that was my question to everyone: was how do you think this is? I said I see a bigger picture. I feel like he's playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. And I asked, what do you guys think with this affecting China and Russia on their oil supply?
Absolutely.
And everyone's like, no, I don't think so.
Well, I do.
And now it's like, see, he was thinking ahead. I really believe that this was to knock out more birds, or, I guess you could say that, more birds with one stone. He is dismantling a lot of different places because of this, to where we're going to have an easier time going in and handling Cuba.
Has anybody seen the satellite view of all the tankers that are headed toward the Gulf?
Isn't that amazing?
And I mean, the Gulf of America / Mexico.
Isn't it amazing? It's beautiful.
In mid-ocean, they're turning around and coming up.
And there's a website you can go to that's actually on one of our ships that's in the strait. And you can actually see what's going on and how nothing is getting through. So when someone said China actually got through, I laughed my ass off, because you can go and watch in real time.
Well, I think that a ship got through, but I don't think it came from Iran. I think there's truth to it, but it didn't come from Iran.
Yeah, nothing.
It basically was already in the strait.
It was a Chinese ship that had tried.
It was a Chinese ship. It was already in the strait. It didn't go. It didn't go between Iran and the island. It was out in the middle of the strait.
Nothing is coming from there. There is nothing.
Not henceforth.
in a more broad perspective, in a little bit more of a kind of a broader perspective, because I've kind of just like you stick out like the world map, that could be on your wall or something like that, and you just look at the entire world and all this, because we've known that Trump has been in contact with Putin. There's been dialogue there, but the interesting thing that another interesting thing that I'm kind of watching with all of this is you look over the weekend in Hungary, where JD Vance and Trump have come out and putting their support in for Viktor Orban, who got his cheeks clapped over the weekend over a guy who defected from him and is now going to be the new prime minister there.
You do realize that he ran to the right of Orban, though, right?
He ran to the right of Orban, but people were sick of Orban's shit.
Yeah, I mean, true.
But let me just kind of finish the thought, because Orban was one of Putin's boys when it came to Europe. But now that Hungary is going to be going back to the EU, it looks like. So now I'm wondering, like, as far as any kind of leverage with Ukraine, with Europe, because if you've noticed that Europe has just been kind of just sitting back and watching everything that has transpired.
They don't really have any options, Jason. They don't have a military.
They don't. You're right. They don't. You're right.
And they're about to get their asses handed to them.
But the thing about it is now with Hungary being out of the picture, which was a little bit more of like a Putin card, I guess you could say. With Ukraine still fighting back, Ukraine has not been taken over yet. Would that embolden Europe now when it comes to Russia? Because I think that's another thing that you need to watch too.
I think Russia's way more powerful.
Don't forget now that the United States has shelled out how many billions of dollars to Ukraine. That war would have been over within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If the United States had not interceded and gone along with NATO and gave them money, it would have been done.
You bring up NATO, another factor that's coming too.
Ineffectual organization that we don't need to be in, along with the UN. Period.
But now a NATO nation in Turkey is thinking about entering the chat when it comes to Iran. Right now, NATO has the U.S. and Turkey, and the Article 5 always says it's like any NATO nation that is attacked, everybody else comes in. So this kind of complicates things too.
I don't think when it comes to Israel and Turkey is in a position, I can easily see Turkey backstabbing Israel in very short order because it's a Muslim country, and they wouldn't think anything of it. I don't trust. In fact, if anything would kick off a world war, it'd be Turkey going after Israel, which I
would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Turkey also, something that would kick off a wider conflict is they talked about the Kurds invading Iran, the part of Iran that they claim is part of their historic territory, which also goes into Turkey and Iraq. And they claimed that they were going to set the Kurds up to attack them. But if I was the Kurds, I wouldn't trust the United States.
Oh no, the Kurds have come out and they're like, no, fuck this. We've been through this before.
You promised stuff's enough and haven't come across.
Kurds are like, nah, they're like, nah, fam, we sitting this one out.
But do you guys, I mean, I know people give Trump hell for having some type of relationship with Putin. Do you not I see why he has one.
You don't mean a gay relationship, right?
Same as him having.
I seen the picture of him riding horseback with Putin.
Well, we have seen that he has gone back and forth against Putin at times, and
but there's
it's a very conflicted image, Nikki. That he
one of these things that I opened my eyes to on the fact that Putin waited till Trump was out of the White House to go after Ukraine because he made threats on it.
And everyone knew that was going to happen, but that's not just part of the game.
No, it's so that he knows that Trump is the type man that does what he says he's going to do.
Yes, I
I
understand.
And it's the
I
same as
He also,
having
he
North
also
Korea
knows he
having a
has
civil
1,700
relationship
nuclear
with North
weapons. He
Korea.
can do what the fuck he wants to do also. So don't think that in any stretch of the situation that Trump is going to be the top dog in this. We're counting missiles here. We're not counting whether Trump likes him or whether he can overpower the
Oh,
man.
I didn't say likes him. I said there is a relationship, and there's a reason that he keeps a relationship with certain people, just like he keeps that relationship and that phone line open to North Korea. The same as he's always kept it open to Russia. He still keeps it open to some of these,
Oh no,
Ukraine, all of these.
he's a
There's a reason.
communicator. Absolutely. I'm not saying he's going to shun Putin and try put because he knows if he puts Putin in the corner, it isn't going to go well for anyone. And
Hold on,
everyone knows that.
I
what?
don't know.
Wait a minute. Going back to Doug's question about them being in a gay relationship, if they were, do you think that Vladimir Putin would concede to being a bottom?
Huh?
You know, I don't know. I seen the picture of him and Trump riding horseback.
Oh yeah.
Trump was behind Putin.
That was
I
good.
I will be top. You will be bottom.
No, I'm just tired of people saying, Trump's is Israel's bitch. He's no one's bitch.
No, that was what I was saying with having.
I
I
understand.
think there are concerning things about Israel and U.S. relations, but it's always been there.
It's always. And
Can
it
I
always
prove
will-
it? No, but is it plausible? It could be.
What's
Like
that?
But
it will
I
always
don't
be
see
there.
that going favorably from here on out. I see with the media twisting things, it's changing the world's image there again against the Jews, and country by country is turning against Israel, and this is a biblical thing. If you want to talk, the Bible is that at the end times, all these countries are going to go against and attack Israel.
Well, they say we're 10 years away in the U.S. from completely abandoning
All I know
abandoning
is
Israel.
there's a lot of people.
And I
in
can
this
easily
world
see
right
that
now.
happening,
Bible.
especially with the media.
They're a useful ally in this conflict, though, and they definitely have skin in the game, right? And they've been battling the proxies of Iran for a long time, including in their own country.
I think
And,
Israel definitely wanted this now because they're a little concerned about the trends. They're seeing that they may not have U.S. support, like I said, within 10 years.
And then there's the
So I
nukes.
definitely
Iran.
think they wanted this now, and they wanted the U.S. to be there too.
And on top of
I don't think
well,
it's all about that for Trump.
well,
No,
and on top of that too is that you had. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Trump's the first one that called his ass out. When he was bombing, you will not bomb without, like he was pissed, and he has no problem speaking up. If he's in their pocket and what they're saying, a pussy when it comes to Israel, and they own him, and what he says go, that man wouldn't have done and said what he said.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He's in this for the United States. He's in this for us. He doesn't really give a shit about anyone else.
If Iran had nuked Israel, what would have been the ramification?
Say that again, Bob.
If Iran had nuked Israel, which they said they would do, they even come as far as saying that they would do it if they thought it would bring the Mahdi, right?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind about that.
I really don't know what that would have brought. I mean, I think everybody's mouth was been hanging open. I don't know how do you respond to it, because they hit Israel with a nuke. That's pretty much their ass, right? One nuke takes the whole country down, right?
Yep,
pretty much.
But that's what
has a whole shitload of nuclear weaponry.
I mean,
all I'm thinking is people that are so against this doesn't understand that Iran with freaking nukes is never a good thing.
Yeah, there's people that's even suggested that we should have let them have nukes. So what does it matter? I mean, when you come out
we let Pakistan have nukes.
I mean, I just think
he has nukes.
So if you had any premise whatsoever to have this war on, right? I mean, you had just attacked their nuclear program. They violated the agreements in it. You feel like if you change the regime, it's an excuse to go in there, right? And if your long-term goal is to use that time and that military might to eventually seize the world oil market, so I mean, I think I wouldn't call it good war because I hate war, but strategically, it seems to be a win.
No war is good, but the outcome in the end is actually benefits.
I think as long as the U.S. keeps control of the strait, if the U.S. loses control of the strait and China takes control of it, I think it's.
I don't think
it's going to be hard to view it as a win at that point.
I mean, our fleet there, in terms of how many aircraft we got, is, I mean,
we're there now, and
It's
when's the last time
insane.
y'all seen us go into anything like this and then leave?
oh yeah, I mean, it looked like
Insane.
the Battle of Lady Gulf down there. I mean, it's an armada. The invasion of Okinawa, that's the size of the naval flotilla. I mean, and as far as air power, I don't know if China's got anything that can fly that far on its own, but if it does, I don't see that making it. I mean, if China personally tried to wrest control of the region from us, that their supply lines would be overextended. Their Navy, their carrier is a failure, right?
So tell me this: are there Chinese ships headed toward the Gulf?
There might be cargo ships.
I'm just trying to figure out: is China coming to get oil here?
They may be.
You know what? I'm gonna have James look that up tonight because he's been tracking them, like what countries are coming up through the Gulf right now.
Yeah,
and headed
He
towards
offered
the Gulf.
to
I'm
though.
gonna see what's in there, and it says on the tracking, it shows you in colors like.
I know there's a shitload of them. I don't know whether China is coming, but China's going to have to do something because they get 50% of their oil from Iran.
Yes.
And that was my point that first show, and everyone was like, you know, I don't see that happening, and I just have this.
They got to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like it right here, and I even said it. I feel like in the long run, this also can affect Russia going after Ukraine. The way this is lining up, you know, Russia going after Ukraine, Cuba, what we want to do with, you know, liberating the people of Cuba and dealing with that bullshit down there. It all lines up, and it's not just helping. I mean, of course, it's USA first. He's doing this for us, but it's going to end up stopping a lot of other things.
And Richard Brian Gayer says Georgia baseball is dominant, by the way. And so my question to everybody is, isn't this a double whammy to China since we also cut them off from Venezuelan oil?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
They're starving right now.
Everything that has happened that seemed random don't seem so random at this point.
And it's going to lead them to buy from us. And when they buy from us, we are not giving them the price that Venezuela was giving them.
No, they're going to be premium dollars.
Exactly. I mean, our barrels are going down already.
So I just want to say, since the 1990s, I've been hearing our media say that by, I don't remember what date they originally gave, maybe 2010. And this was in the 90s. China will be the biggest economy in the world by 2010. And then we got to 2010 and they weren't there. But it was like, okay, now it's 2020. I'm just throwing dates out. They just kept moving the goalpost.
My only thing is that I hope that we're not underestimating Xi Jinping, and here's why. Because just from my observation, he's a hard ass, but it seems to me like he comes off like he's got that hard line business mindset. If you look at the structured economy of China and how it's worked, it's become one of the economical superpowers. Not the biggest, but it has become an economical superpower. So really, that makes me just like, I hope we're not underestimating this guy.
Another angle of this, Doug. So there's another angle of this is the petrodollar. So China tried to get around the petrodollar by buying not oil, but gold all over the world, and they actually did buy a portion of the oil from Venezuela in gold, right? So now that we control so much oil, and they're not able to get any, that means that the petrodollar is still intact, and their currency that they're proposing to all these nations is now not really worth that much.
It is at this point, but I want everybody to realize we lose world reserve currency, and it's damaged right now, but we've still got it to a degree, to a pretty high degree. We lose world reserve currency, we're going to see such a difference. I mean, we think we've got inflation right now. It ain't going to be. It'll be so much worse.
And
we're gonna get bent over and fucked with no lube with that happens.
So let me just say that that's really what's going on. I think it's the top priority is to hold on to the world reserve currency, and there's probably going to be people that's going to get angry of what I'm about to say, but what we do with our world reserve currency is the inflation that we create. It's passed on to everybody that holds dollars, and that's a lot of people around the world, and they get pissed off about it.
Yeah.
The problem is there's not a more stable currency. As bad as these countries have been fucked holding U.S. dollars because they have to buy oil, and it happens frequently, it's still the most stable currency in the world.
Another Chinese, they
one
buy.
thing I would like to bring to the table here is that I could be underestimating China's, and it just dawned on me. It's just something that I was reading the other day in the paper, is that China has switched in some ways of they've built like 50 coal producing plants. They've come in and they have plans for another 150 coal burning plants, plus I think at least 50 nuclear reactors going online, coming up to and being built right now. So their ambition is to get away from the oil thing, so that they're not so dependent to where it would critically collapse their economic power.
They're probably doing like the Nazis did at the end of World War II, where we were bombing their oil infrastructure. And so what they did was they made synthetic oil out of coal, which included.
They're doing it right now in West Virginia.
Right, and low octane aviation fuel. So the Germans were able to make synthetic fuels out of coal. So that's something I haven't heard enough of here. But if I was a Chinese, I could do that because there wouldn't be hurdles economically and socially. Like, for example, in my lifetime, every time that my region here in Appalachia had success, there was some kind of law such as NAFTA, taking for the tariffs on foreign steel, the war on coal, that put us back down again. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really want a revival of coal because it means a revival of Appalachia. So it won't happen here. But the Chinese are prudent. So they'll most likely, if they've got resources in coal, or I believe they do, then they could you can make plastics out of it. There's complex chains of polycarbons in coal. So the Chinese can find all kinds of methods to offset their problem. But in the meantime, right now they're trying to have their 1950s Eisenhower style era of, and now all of a sudden they ain't got no gas. It's moved right to 1974 on them.
So guys, what do y'all think about our new emerging friends to the north, Alberta, which may become an independent nation?
A lot of oil up there.
Whole lot of oil. Canada's gonna be fucked if Alberta succeeds.
Can I say one thing on the underestimating of China? I think Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He's kind of like doing the smoke in a room and burn him out. At this point, they can't fight us because they don't have the oil to do it.
Right.
And
It's a difference between soft power and real power.
And they're going to have to come and actually ask for, us to sell to them at this point, and they kind of end up on our side because they have no other choice.
Now they could call their debts due. They hold huge amounts of U.S. bonds, and that's
now, how much does China hold? They don't hold the most. I know Japan holds more than China.
I've heard
China holds quite a bit, trillions.
the amount of property that's here in the United States that China owns. The United States can confiscate that and easily pay that debt that we have. So no, there again, the leveraging game can be played against China and selling war bonds and war debt.
Yeah, we're going from a world that was built with a bunch of agreements and soft power everywhere to back to hard power again. And that's the countries that have the hard power are going to emerge victorious, and China's definitely going to be one of them, and Russia and the US. We have a 3-tier world now. And it's just starting to emerge.
And also Brazil could be on the edge of becoming a superpower in our own hemisphere, certainly in terms of population. And they have their own energy where they use sugarcane to make fuels for their vehicles. And it may be a whole new change in world order. And of course, I don't know how our alliances are with Brazil these days, but they're pretty independent. There's some
our alliances are not good with Brazil.
Right.
Yeah, but the cost of making gas and stuff, the ratio of planting corn to get that to that is it's not a really good economic. It's usually used to subsidize your economy, but it's not one that you can use for a primary source.
So what you guys are telling me is that I should probably start investing in solar panels for my house and maybe a hybrid.
Now, in American electricity is generated by oil.
Man, if I was you, I'd put a wood burning stove. I'd put a wood burning stove in, dude. There'll always be logs.
My HOA is not going to allow that. I agree with you, but they're not going to allow that.
You need to move to a different neighborhood.
My HOA will fine us for forgetting to put my trash bin in the fucking garage, but they won't clean up our fucking dog park.
The shit you're telling me is reminding me of Duck Dynasty. Remember when Duck Dynasty dudes moved into a fucking gated community and thought they were going to burn leaves on the driveway?
I do remember that. I did. Yeah, I do remember that.
And they were so mad. They were like, they were wanting to go down and say their rights were being violated. No, you signed some shit when you moved in there.
Well, okay, so yes, that is true. There is the agreement there that we did sign with the HOA. But the thing about it is we found a clause in our HOA agreement that they're supposed to be covering our trash pickup every month, which is like $16 to $21. But we're still paying that $16 to $21, and they still have the fine on our books and our HOA dues. So what me and my wife have decided to do, just to be dicks, is we're paying $1 of that every month as kind of a fuck you for, hey, you're supposed to be covering our trash, and number two, clean up this shit of a dog park right now that I can't put my dogs out anymore because it looks like ass. What are we paying for?
I couldn't live in an HOA. I don't know how you do it, man. My hat's off to you.
I'll make a few phone calls tomorrow, Jason. I'll get back to you.
All right, yeah, let me know about that.
No,
Jason, I've got a solution for the HOA guys. If you ever decide to bust out there, just let me know right before you leave. And I've got this old Kawasaki race bike that's incredibly loud. And when I take it up to about 11,000 RPM, it sounds like a cat being raped, right? And a nuclear missile combined. So they'll love you forever, I'm sure.
I have a neighbor that I probably want to do that on before we leave.
Yeah. So just let me know, because I love any opportunity to make that happen, you know. And the beauty
I may take you up on that offer.
Well, guys, here's what we want. We want all the machinations, whatever it is behind this war and struggle, to amount to something, right? We don't want to waste blood and treasure on nothing. If it means oil dominance, if it means getting rid of the nuclear capability of Iran, if it means an uprising of their people, who they slaughtered their own fucking people, right? Then we'd like to see that as well. But I think most people would like to see, even if not a resolution, some kind of sign, right, that it's going to be over. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I'd like for it to be over. Just, you know.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that. But if the goal is to starve Russia out of the, not Russia, to starve Iran out of the world oil market, and to get Russia buying oil from us, not Russia, but China buying oil from us, to make it where Russia can't fund their war in Iraq, in Ukraine, I'm fucking up 9 ways Sunday, for Cuba to fall, the seizure of Venezuelan oil, if you ask me, this has been the most eventful foreign policy I've seen in my lifetime.
I'm ready for the prosperity part of this, Bob.
I am too.
And right now, I haven't quite seen it, and I want to see it.
It's going to take some time for the drill, baby drill, the seizure of the oil in Venezuela to take effect, and I think that the war is going to accelerate. I think by this time next year, gas will be cheap. There'll be guys going everywhere that you can imagine to drill, baby drill, and all the infrastructure around that. We'll be building tankers. We'll be building.
All right, if this shit ain't true, you got to wear a dunce hat on this episode next year.
Oh, shit. Solar panels are $6,000 for a house.
There's
already drilled. At least they are here in Texas. They're drilling nonstop.
All right, guys. So if the world still if we haven't had a thermonuclear war by this time next week, we'll be doing it again.
Sounds good.
I may have a third arm. if that happens. I'm just saying.
All right, so he's planning on doing the show even if we have the thermonuclear war.
There you go.
All right, join Jason next week.
I like your hat, Jason. That's apropos. Keep it up, baby.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Later.
I'm the king of this shit, yeah, I'm built to last. Bitches trying to front, but they don't got the craft. Rolling with my crew, we move quick like a flash. Living that street life, making money, making cash. I hate your team, they just want to crash. But I'm balling on a level, yo, I'm sipping on that sass. Smacking off the podcast, don't step to me. Talking all that noise, but you're just a parody. Fuck your mama, know you hate my clarity. We live in thug life, that's the reality. I'm the voice of the streets, I'm the absolute truth. Got these fuckers shook, they just playing the sleuth. You claiming that you tough, but where's your proof? I'm flexing all these wannabes, I'm the living proof. Hard street living, always rolling deep. In the shadows making moves, never lose my sleep. My rhymes hit hard like a punch from the street. So fuck with me, you know you can't compete. Stacking off the podcast, don't you step to me. Talking all that noise, but you're just a parody. Fuck your mama, you know I did. We live in thug life, that ain't no shit. Smack, yeah, we making waves. Cast hitting hard like we digging graves. Got that fire in my soul, feel the heat that raves. In this life, boy, you either thug or just slave. When my crew by my side, we rise up like kings. Life's a game of chess and I'm pulling the strings. Got the world on my back, but I'm counting these blings. Motherfuck your team, they don't know where to sing. I'm the real deal, no imitation. Speeding raw truth, no hesitation. Built from the struggle, pure determination. Smacking off the podcast, my revelation. Smacking off the podcast, don't you step to me. Talking all that noise, but you're just a parody. Fuck your mama, know you hate my clarity. We live in thug life, that's the reality. I'm the voice of the streets, I'm the absolute truth. Got these fuckers shook, they just playing the sleuth. You You claiming that you tough, but where's your proof? I'm flexing on these wannabes, I'm the living proof. Hard street living, always rolling deep. In the shadows making moves, never lose my sleep. My rhymes hit hard like a punch from the street. So fuck with me, you know you can't compete. Smacking off the podcast, don't you step to me. Talking all that noise, but you're just a fucking freak. Fuck your mama, you know we all did. We live in thug life, that ain't no shit.
What you daddy don't like, you don't. I'll be you back in Morton. The sun's back alive. What you white, like the gun. When you get her, we know. Don't do, we know. We know. Don't do, we know. What you do.
Smacking off the podcast, yeah, we making waves. Cash hitting hard like we digging graves. Got that fire in my soul, feel the heat that raves. In this life, boy, you either thug or just slaves. With my crew by my side, we rise up like kings. Life's a game of chess and I'm pulling the strings. Got the world on my back while I'm counting these blings. Motherfuck your team, they don't know where to sing. I'm the real deal, no imitation. Spitting raw truth, no hesitation. Built from the struggle, pure determination. Smacking up the podcast, my revelation. Smacking up